They found hidden rooms, secret documents, bags of evidence stashed away from official records. This is not a spy novel. It's what Kash, Patel, and Dan Bongino just discovered at FBI headquarters. The Comey era's darkest secrets are finally seeing daylight, and what they're finding will shock you to your core. Bongino calls Comey a disgrace to the badge who acted like a child with his beach photo threats. Now they're uncovering everything, from January 6th pipe bombs to Epstein's final moments. The FBI's transformation under Trump isn't just about policy, it's about exposing decades of corruption, lies, and cover-ups. The truth is finally breaking free. Keep watching, because we have all of the details. And just like the FBI hid evidence from the American people, Big Pharma hides the truth about testosterone. Most guys think aging drains their energy, but the real culprit is something you eat every day, something they call healthy. This one food devastates testosterone levels, yet you probably eat it weekly. It's not junk food or sugar. It's way more unexpected. The Sculpt Nation discovered men who cut this food completely transformed their bodies, building muscle, burning fat, feeling 20 years younger. And the results are incredible. You want to know what this testosterone-killing food is? Head to sculptnation.com/NNN, link down below in the description for the free video. Now, the FBI cleanup has begun, and it's exposing corruption beyond our worst nightmare. Deputy Director Dan Bongino just went nuclear on James Comey, revealing the damage that this disgraced former director continues to inflict on the Bureau. Watch as he exposes the hidden rooms filled with Comey-era secrets and explains why Comey's a child and a disgrace to the badge. Watch.
I got to tell you, of all the things that have surprised me in the close to now 3 months I've been here is the depravity of Jim Comey. This man is a disgrace to the badge, the FBI, and the country. What he's doing right now, one, going out and me taking shots at Kash. Kash doesn't belong. Kash was the chief of staff at the Department of. Kash is a patriot. Kash has served in numerous high-level roles, taking personal shots while you're on the beach, implying a threat towards the president and blaming your wife about it. And let me just add about James Comey, Saint Comey, who walks around there moralizing to everyone how wonderful of a human being he is. What you said is absolutely accurate. We have wasted countless man hours now running out tips to our tip line about people putting 8647 because of Jim Comey, because he cannot control himself and his emotions. He is a child. He is a big child. And let me tell you one more thing. Look at Jim Comey, who wants you to believe. Jim Comey taking a shot at the president. Oh, look at me. I'm such a victim. The president's going after me. He's making a ton of money on this book. The only person that got prosecuted was the president. Jim Comey, we're finding stuff even now. Wait till you read the stuff that's coming out.
Does he still have loyalists in the building? Because when I hear the FBI director saying, you guys are finding boxes that are hidden, okay, how does that happen in the Bureau?
Well, we were there a couple of weeks, and luckily there were a lot of people up there who grabbed us by the arm the minute we came in and said, thank you for being here. We need to talk. There are people there who are really horrified at what happened. And there was a room, and we found stuff, a lot of stuff.
A hidden room.
I wouldn't call it hidden, but hidden from us at least, and not mentioned to us. And then we found stuff in there, and a lot of it's from the Comey era, and we are working our damnedest right now to declassify. And just so you know, because I get the public, I totally understand people saying, well, do it now. The process is not all the information is ours to declassify. Some is other intelligence agencies. It's not, we literally can't do it. Once that gets done and that gets out there and you read some of the stuff we found that, by the way, was not processed through the normal procedure, digitizing it, putting in FBI records. We found it in bags hiding under Jim Comey's FBI. Quickly, you're going to be stunned.
The shells on the beach, can you?
Unbelievable. They found stuff in bags hidden from official FBI records, not digitized, not processed, just stashed away. Wait till you see what's in those documents. But here's what's really costing American lives. Kash Patel, he revealed how Comey's childish 8647 beach photo has now forced the FBI to divert critical resources. Watch as the FBI director explains how many agents he's had to pull from hunting child predators and drug traffickers just to chase down Comey-inspired copycat threats. Watch.
So I won't be lectured on how to run this FBI from that man.
Well, James Comey was just on talking about all of that, the seashells and everything, and he also talked about you.
Obviously, you start with the fact that the guy has literally nothing in his entire adult life that prepares him for this role, and so that's deeply concerning to start with. In a way, I kind of a little bit sorry for the guy. He's barked at the FBI nonsense for years, and now he not only caught the car, he's got to drive the car, and so that is a daunting task for him. I hope he lets the career people do their jobs, but they've already forced out a bunch of good career people and sent a chill through the organization.
That's James Comey.
If he wants to come after me, no problem. I've been living rent-free in that guy's head for years, and that's just a bonus. Do you know how many copycats we've had to investigate as a result of that beachside venture from the former director?
Is that right?
Do you know how many agents I've had to take offline from chasing down child sex predators, fentanyl traffickers, terrorists, because everywhere across this country people are popping up on social media and think that a threat to the life of the President of the United States is a joke and they can do it because he did it? That's what I'm having to deal with every single day. And that's what I'm having to pull my agents and analysts off because he thought it was funny to go out there and make a political statement.
The 8647, the president said that he believed it was an assassination message.
Yeah, it was. Now, agents pulled offline from chasing child sex predators and fentanyl traffickers because Comey thought threatening the president was a joke. This is the cost of his narcissism. While Comey plays games, real crime is being fought. Federal authorities just busted an Armenian fraud ring that stole $30 million in COVID relief meant for struggling Americans. Watch, here's some footage of the pre-dawn raids as Homeland Security takes down the transnational crime syndicate.
We also, found that they were spending this money that was meant for people that need it in order to exploit the American people.
Now, federal agents bust up an Armenian fraud ring in Los Angeles. 14 men charged with trying to steal tens of millions of dollars from the government. Matt Finham got an exclusive look at the action. He joins us now with more on the story there. Matt, what is the story?
Well, Bill, this is the second time in a matter of days that the feds have busted a transnational crime organization here in Los Angeles.
This is the police. We have a warrant. Come out with your hands up.
Fox News exclusively capturing Homeland Security's sunrise bust of this Armenian-born man at his LA area home. The suspect, who uses the alias William McGrayan, surrenders with his hands over his head. Investigators say McGrayan is the brains of a transnational crime ring that stole $30 million in COVID relief and small business loans meant to help tax-paying Americans.
If you're engaged in fraud, if you're taking money from the government that doesn't belong to you, your door could be the next one that we're hitting.
According to court documents, an informant describes McGrayan as unhinged, claiming he talked about his ties to gangs in Armenia and threatened one person with a gun and a baseball bat. In the multi-agency sting led by DHS, 14 people were taken into custody.
The suspects are simultaneously arrested across town so they can't tip one another off, and then they're brought to this special processing center to be booked.
The suspects are charged with conspiracy, wire and bank fraud, and money laundering. Investigators say multiple shell companies were created using phony documents. Some of the money was spent on homes and luxury goods. The rest was wired to Armenia, making it harder for the U.S. to trace.
These fraudsters applied for $47 million in federal funds. They got away with about 30. Most are Armenian-born, but have become naturalized, and at least one faces deportation. Bill.
Unbelievable. 14 men arrested, 30 million stolen from taxpayers, luxury goods purchased while Americans suffered. This is what the FBI should be focused on. And Kash Patel, he laid out the new FBI priorities in stark terms. Watch as he promises to be responsible stewards of taxpayer dollars while revealing the shocking waste of previous directors. The days of private jets and personal junkets are over. This FBI now works for the American people. Watch.
Welcome back to the FBI Academy at Quantico, Virginia. Joining us again, FBI Director Kash Patel. You were recently up on Capitol Hill answering questions.
When should we expect this FY25 spend plan for the FBI? Have you seen it? Have you reviewed it? When will we get it?
I'll get you an answer, ma'am. I don't have a timeline on that.
It was due last week by law.
I understand.
And your answer is you just understand you're not going to follow the law?
My answer is that I am following the law, and I'm working with my interagency partners to do this.
It is budget season.
Yeah.
And should you have laid out a budget by then to Congress? Because everybody is looking to how much you're going to spend and how much they're going to take from perhaps you to make this all work.
Do I have a budget at the FBI? Sure, of course I do. But the Office of Management Budget at the White House sets the budget for the United States government. And so if they have a budget which we agree with, they need to roll that out. And they're doing so on their own timeline and working with Congress on that. What I'm telling the American people is that we will be stewards of the taxpayer dollars no matter what budget we are given, and focus on these priorities: crushing violent crime, defending the homeland, and fierce organizational accountability. And we'll make it happen. We're not the guys running around on private jets. And somebody maybe in Congress should ask for how many flights on a private jet Director Comey took, or my predecessor Director Wray took, and how many personal trips they took. I know they want to take pot shots at me, but I've been working nonstop on this job, including pretty much every single weekend. And somebody should ask the tens of millions of dollars that were wasted on personal junkets by prior FBI directors before lecturing me on a budget for the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Prior FBI directors wasted tens of millions on personal trips while lecturing about budgets. Patel is working weekends while they flew private jets. The FBI is even leaving the crumbling Hoover building where cement literally falls on people's heads. Patel explained that they're moving next to the Department of Justice, where they belong, consolidating 6 wasteful offices. This is what draining the swamp looks like, fixing decades of neglect and mismanagement. Watch.
When do you want everyone out of the Hoover building? You say you want to move out of that building. Where would the new headquarters be?
I can tell you that we are in the process of moving out. We've just worked out the final logistics to begin that process, and we are actually in line with keeping the American taxpayer dollars on mission, shuttering about 6 different offices the FBI has in the D.C. area, and we're moving to our new location within the D.C. area, and that process has already started.
Which is where? Maryland?
We're staying in Washington, D.C., right next to our partners at the Department of Justice, and we're getting out of the Hoover building. I have cargo nets holding up the cement structures of the exterior of the Hoover building because it catches falling cement and prevents it from hitting someone in the head. I'm not making that up. Why no one in the past decided to address that standard or lack of standard and make that building unsafe is beyond me, but we're addressing it.
So you're going to leave that building and then go to another building next to Homeland Security?
Next to the Department of Justice.
Justice, got it.
Because we have to, this is a great point that I think people overlook. We are a component of the Department of Justice. Moving us an hour and a half outside of town. Every morning, you know what me and the deputy do? We walk across the street to brief the Attorney General, the Deputy Attorney General, and the PAYDAG on the most pressing matters of the day. If we leave, how are we going to do that on a daily basis?
What's the thing that keeps you up at night?
The CCP, for a whole host of reasons we haven't even talked about, their cyber espionage campaign, what they're doing undersea.
Cargo nets catching falling cement to prevent injuries. That's the state that Comey left the FBI in. Patel's fixing what previous directors ignored. But the real bombshells are in the reopened cases. Bongino announced they're aggressively investigating the January 6 pipe bombs that the previous administration mysteriously ignored. They're also revealing new Epstein evidence. Watch him explain how surveillance footage proves Epstein was completely alone. But do you believe it? Watch.
There is nothing in the file at this point on the Epstein case, and there's going to be a disclosure on this coming shortly. We are working through there is video. That is something the public does not.
There's video of him killing himself.
No, not the actual act, but the entire MCC Bay, it was only one camera. There's video that when you look at the video, and we will release, that's what's taken a while on this, we are working on cleaning it up to make sure you have an enhanced, and we're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans. You're going to see there's no one there but him. Right. There's just nobody there. So I say to people all the time, if you have a tip, let us know. But there's no DNA, there's no audio, there's no fingerprints, there's no suspects, there's no accomplices, there's no tips, there is nothing. If you have it, I'm happy to see it. There's video clear as day. He's the only person in there and the only person coming out. You can see it.
So he says the video shows Epstein was the only person there, no accomplices, no murder. Just the truth the establishment doesn't want you to see. I want to see this. I know you do too. Now, the FBI is rebuilding public trust by solving cases of significant public interest. Bongino explained how they're closing in on suspects in multiple high-profile cases, including fascinating tips from social media. Watch him detail their systematic approach to restoring the FBI's reputation. Watch.
So the moment Kash and I swore in, we realized that the first thing we had to do is rebuild public trust. This is your FBI. It's not mine. I tell the employees every day, you don't own it, you don't own it, I don't own it. It's like being the center fielder for the Yankees. That'll live with you forever, but you don't own the Yankees. It's a proud franchise. The place has taken a reputational hit. There is zero question about it. There were a lot of bad actors. One of them still out there causing us all kinds of trouble. So we had to fix it and rebuild public trust. One of the ways to do it is these cases of significant public interest that matter. You know, we had 2 pipe bombs planted on January 6th. I mean, we were told by partisan actors out there this was the insurrection, the world was going to fall apart, and no one seemed to show any interest in this case. The second we got in, I put a team on it, and I said, I want answers on this. And I'm pretty confident that we're closing in on some suspects. We got to. The reason, by the way, I use social media with these cases, I'm trying to communicate on social media, is nothing's by accident, guys. I do nothing by accident. Every time I put a tweet out on it, we get tips. We got a fascinating tip on one of these cases, one of the 3. I don't want to say which one, but I'm pretty confident that we're going to close out one of them, hopefully shortly. And in the cocaine in the White House, you know, I saw someone on social media, which is fine. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. We work for you, but said, I don't care about the case. Yeah, I do. I was a Secret Service agent. A potentially hazardous material made its way into the White House. Nobody seems to know how it got there, and nobody seemed to investigate it fully. Like, you know, what planet do we live on where that's not of public interest?
2 pipe bombs on January 6th and nobody cared. The cocaine in Biden's White House and nobody investigated. Well, those days are over. Transformation isn't happening without resistance, though. When Comey attacked Patel's qualifications on TV, claiming he's unprepared for the role, he exposed his own panic. The man who weaponized the FBI against Trump now watches his legacy crumble as real cops do real police work. So the message is clear. The FBI belongs to the American people again. No more political persecution, no more hidden rooms, no more protecting the powerful while targeting patriots. Patel and Bongino are delivering on Trump's promise to restore law and order. Every document they uncover, every case they reopen, every corrupt practice they expose brings us one step closer to the truth. The deep state's enforcement arm has been turned against them, and they're absolutely terrified. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. It's time for my final thought. So this is justice, patriots, real justice. For years, the FBI was the deep state's attack dog, raiding Trump's home, protecting Biden's crimes, ignoring real threats while hunting MAGA grandmas. Now Patel and Bongino are turning the tables. Hidden rooms exposed, Comey's corruption revealed, the Epstein truth supposedly uncovered. January 6 pipe bombers being hunted. This isn't just reform, it's revolution. Every bag of hidden documents, every reopened case, every fired bureaucrat brings us closer to the FBI that we all deserve. An FBI that catches criminals, not creates them. That protects children, not political elites. That serves justice and not narratives. Comey's spending his retirement making threats with seashells while real men clean up his mess. The establishment's worst nightmare has come true. Patriots control the police power. So should Comey be prosecuted for the crimes that they're uncovering? Drop a yes or a no. Let me know down below. And you can gear up by visiting our merch shop at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.